Man, good morning. Good Saturday morning. Glad to have you with us. Hot, humid. The haze may be thinned out a little bit, but hot, humid morning this morning.
Yeah.
Stay inside if you can, much as you can. Man, it has been a rough week. Mike Powell, Brett Keever. It's been a rough week, and only looks like it might get a little worse before getting somewhat better by next weekend. 74 degrees this morning at our studios, but that is
outside.
Yeah, not a 81 inside.
81
Lanny says.
inside.
81 inside is
And
the
that
air
is
conditioning.
because the AC is
Just struggling to keep up.
struggling to keep up.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, like me,
Yeah.
struggling to keep up. But it's the 74 outside is not the 74 that you get like in October for a high.
Yeah, because it's not humid
Yeah,
then.
that's right. Well, most of the time it's not.
Most of the
But
time.
it is humid this morning, and expect
Sticky.
thunderstorms again.
Ooh,
I know a lot of folks had them yesterday, but fortunately, at the local baseball fields, they didn't come into play in Cherryville and in Shelby. Last night, where the American Legion baseball best of 7 series in the semifinals both went 3-0 last night, as Cherryville takes a commanding 3-0 lead on Rutherford County, and Cleveland County a 3-0 lead. They finished Game 2 yesterday, and then they played Game 3, and Cleveland County victorious in both to take a 3-0 lead in theirs. So what percentage? They always want to do these percentages things. That either one of those gets bumped. Somebody comes from a 3-0 deficit. I've seen one series in my life.
I know which one you're talking about.
I bet you don't. One series in my life
Caldwell County, Cherryville, 1998.
where a team down 3-0 came back.
Oh, was that 3-1?
It was 3-1. Twice Cherryville did that to Caldwell.
Okay.
I've seen one series in my life in American Legion baseball where a team – I've seen one in Major League Baseball too.
Oh, yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Of course.
But one in Legion baseball. And you had one team right in that series.
I did.
And I want to go back.
The one of them was Caldwell County.
Yes, you're right. But I remember it being 3-0. I can't tell you the year that it happened, but I can tell you a player on the Shelby team named Jamie Ray, W-R-A-Y.
Yeah.
One of their best players. He was a really good outfielder.
was.
I think he played center.
That was around, what, 02?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't exactly remember. Well, I just told you right there. I gave it away.
Yeah.
I just told you who the
Shelby.
other team is.
The Shelby won, right?
Shelby.
They went on to win the state.
They may have.
They did win it one
they?
year around.
I was going to say it had to be Caldwell that blew the 3-0
It
lead.
was.
'Cause that's,
It
that's
was.
just something they would do.
And I remember, you remember those little figurines you could buy that like cartoon characters, and you push the bottom and they just no. That's the way Shelby looked when the last out was recorded. I mean, not Shelby, but Caldwell. It was just unbelievable that. And I think I've got that right. I think it was Shelby that came out. If
think you're right.
Mike says
Well,
they won the
Caldwell's
state
got a
game.
history of
They do.
collapsing.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they did that night. Yes, they have twice fell. Have 3-1 leads on Cherryville, at least twice. Two I'm aware of. Two Mike's aware of. Two we've been to. They've had.
Yeah, it was the
3-1
two
leads.
times Cherryville went on to the World Series and
Was it really?
finished runner-up. I think it was those 2 years.
Wow.
I know one of them was 98, in which.
Well, the other one was 03 when.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
When
about
Cherryville
that?
went to Oklahoma.
Wow.
It was that year. It
So
was.
they-
Remember, Chris Mason was the.
That makes the run even more incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Brian
remember.
Sigmund was
yeah,
the one
and then
that got
Chris
the
Mason
win.
got the final
win,
out.
and Chris Mason.
Yeah.
Wow. That goes back. Goes back a ways.
And you know what?
The 98 was the protest year.
Yeah.
That was really the last gasp for Caldwell County. I mean, as a major player in a way. And after that, they just sort of have been.
You know, they've won the
Around.
first state tournament when they started having state tournaments
Yeah.
instead of playoffs.
That's right.
Caldwell
At
won
their
the first
place.
state tournament. They hosted it. They won it. But and I don't know if they've got back to the championship or not. They had a good team when we were in Garner, and I think Cherryville won the state.
They
that
finished
year.
third.
Yeah, they had a good team and got eliminated by Wayne County, right?
Yeah.
And then Cherryville beat Wayne County. I think Wayne That's when they played the extra game.
Yeah.
But you didn't have to keep you from having to win twice. Did they still have to win twice, or was that a one-game take-all there?
It was a one-game.
Well, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, because
You could
Cherville
be
had lost
undefeated.
the night before.
Okay, they did lose. Yeah, so I was wondering if you didn't lose, if there was a team that got there undefeated.
Then you would have to beat them twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's never been a state tournament where you lose one game. And, college was like that. College was like that when they did pool play.
Yeah.
Lenny said he's pretty sure Shelby won when Jamie Ray played, Shelby won it.
Yeah.
And it was at ECU.
Okay.
And, yes, I remember that. Remember that pretty well, as I think we were all three down there.
Yeah.
For that tournament. So.
Yeah, that was that might have been the year after Garner, a year or two after. It was around 2009.
It wasn't hot in Greenville, North Carolina, was it? I don't remember it being hot in Greenville. Yeah. That's a hot place, too. That's a joke, Mike. I'm kidding about that.
Can you remember one where it wasn't?
No.
Just brutally hot.
Garner might have been the worst.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Over 100
Garner might have been
every
the
day.
worst.
It was the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it wasn't over 100. I don't know how much over 90 it was at Morehead City. Sure wish they had hosted again.
Yeah.
That was
fun.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, it was. Good trip.
It was very sticky
beach.
and humid, but it was it was fun.
Yep, you expect it. But the wind was always blowing. Seems like, maybe not at the ballpark, but out on the out at Tackle
drinks
Box
were
Tavern.
always flowing.
Tackle Box Tavern, yeah.
Goes way back. Yeah, what major event happened when we were sitting? To some it'd be a major event. Something happened while we were sitting on the in the Tackle Box Tavern.
Was it an Olympics?
Something took
thing,
place. Nope.
I was trying to think of what.
Nope.
Was it even a sports related?
No, it was not. Remember, we were sitting there, and I got a text not long after it happened from Phil Garner about it happening. It wasn't sports related.
Was not sports related.
I'll give you a hint.
Was it a death?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a death?
Yes. 27 years
old.
old.
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse.
Oh.
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse
The
passed
curse
away.
of 27.
Yeah. Yep, sure did.
Yep.
Because Phil sent me a message and said, wanted me to go to rehab, and I said, no. A line out of her.
Yeah, out of one of her songs.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know why I remember that, but I remember that happening. The group of 27, man, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Kurt Cobain, Jimi Hendrix,
Janis Joplin.
Yeah,
there may be more.
Oh, there's more
in that.
There's more.
That group.
It's and it's what we named right there was musicians, right?
Yeah, just musicians.
Yep, very odd situation.
Yep.
Last night,
don't forget Jim Morrison.
Well, that's what I'm not. I had forgot, but there's and I still think there's 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, maybe
that we're leaving out. They might not all be musicians.
Those are some of the
biggest
names.
The biggest names.
Yep. Rock musicians need to. Somebody passed away recently. It seemed like it within the last couple of years anyway. At 28, and I thought, they made it one more, but they still. I don't know if they'd be considered the curse of couldn't be considered the curse of age 27.
Yeah.
But that's
Brian Jones, one of the original Rolling Stones.
Was he 27?
He was 27.
What about the maybe Buddy Holly or something?
Buddy was only 22.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that his was real young, and there was other people involved in that crash, right?
Yeah, the Big Bopper, who was he had a couple of things.
Wasn't 27 though, right?
No, I don't think he was 27. Who Richie Valens, who did.
Was he 27? I just wondered.
That's a good question. I think he might have been younger too.
No survivors in that crash?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Wow. And that goes back to
the day the music died.
Yeah, 19. You remember the year?
62.
60 something.
Early 60s.
Was it? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Going to get into baseball scores here in a few minutes. Couple things to read here on the headlines. Running back Mixon restructures his deal to stay with Bengals. It sounds like from, this is Joe Mixon,
Yep.
one of the offensive stars of this Bengals offense, and just things I was hearing, he was all but set to leave, but agreed to stay, and I think a wise decision for him and the team. Who's the other back they got that? Perrine, what?
Pirine.
Yeah, he's a bruiser.
Samaje Piran.
No wonder I couldn't.
Hey, get this.
Right
Both
off
of
the
them
top
played at Oklahoma.
Yeah, they did. Yes, they did. Now, didn't P. Ryan play somewhere else, or am I thinking about his NFL career started somewhere else? Seemed like he was somewhere else.
Yeah, I think his NFL started. NFL career, Washington, maybe?
That was a pretty good running attack, though, with those two,
Yeah, it was.
like thunder and lightning.
Yeah, he did play for Washington, but I was thinking, wasn't there another Pirine? Like, did he have a brother?
I think there
played?
was. It was
I
either
don't know
another
about
P.
that.
Ryan or it was.
Yeah, LaMichael. It's his cousin.
Okay.
Played for Florida and then drafted by the Jets in 2020. He's with the Chiefs now.
Okay. And his name is?
LaMichael.
LaMichael. Okay.
And speaking of Florida, I just saw recently, playing at the University of Florida, a story about getting ready to revamp the swamp. And I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what the plans are.
You're going to drain it?
I heard, I heard the figure. I hope they're doing more than drain it with the figure. I heard, I don't remember what it was right now, but it was, maybe upwards of $100 million or something like that.
Yeah.
That project that they're going to do.
Yeah.
I've been there to a game.
Brett has been there to a game.
That's a neat place.
But is the stadium? It don't look ideal on TV. And I don't know how to describe what doesn't really look ideal to me, or fan friendly, or I don't know exactly what I'm trying how to word it. But just to watch a game on TV might just be the view from TV. You could give us a better perspective because
I don't know. We sat in the end zone about 30 rows up, and I mean I thought it was. I enjoyed it.
Right.
I didn't think there's anything bad about the view or being too far.
Well, there's
from
something
the
bad
field
about
or
the
anything
view.
like that.
Surely you don't watch the view. Yeah, I guess that's what matters. I'm being comfortable in a seat. You can
it's got some age,
tell what's going on. Well, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know exactly what year it was built, but it's probably not the first renovation that's upcoming. And what will they do? How long will it take? How many seats will not be available? I don't think it's something they can do in one off season, is it?
Probably not.
Not with the number I heard. I don't remember exactly what it was, but you would think it's going to take a year anyway to do the project. Who knows? I mean, who knows? Maybe they've got a contractor that's agreed to come in there and work 24 hours a day. Not the same people, obviously, but work 24 hours a day and get it done quick as possible. Don't know the details on that whatsoever.
Opened in 1930.
Ooh, boy.
And what's the actual name of this?
Ben Hill Griffin Stadium.
Ben Hill Griffin.
It was a 22,000 seat stadium in 1930. Now it holds 88. So it's been added on to a few times.
It's about as old as the Cotton Ball.
Florida is one of those schools, kind of like UCLA, good in everything. Is that the best athletic program, college athletic program? Is UCLA the best? And you can't just look at the
historically.
The heavyweight.
I'd say UCLA probably.
I think they have more national titles.
Yeah.
Combined in all sports than anybody else.
Yeah,
and Florida may not even be second.
Florida's got to be close.
Do they?
Well, I don't know about in national titles, but just in overall.
Yeah, they're pretty good in everything.
Athletics.
That's what made me think of it.
They've won 2 basketball titles.
There's not I can't think of a sport.
Have they won a baseball?
A major sport.
They've been good.
They've won baseball. They beat LSU the last time they met.
Yeah.
Well, not the last time they met, 2 weeks ago, but prior to that, they had beaten LSU in the. LSU's isn't bad either.
No,
they don't. They historically do not have a very strong basketball. They don't have a very strong basketball program, men's basketball. But just in the last couple of years, they've won a football title, a baseball title, and a women's basketball title. And but just trying to think of others. Who'd you say that?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, yeah.
Yeah, softball.
Girls
3
softball
straight.
doesn't hurt. Yeah,
3
that's
straight.
what it is now, Mike. Right, a girls softball school.
Yeah, we're a
Right.
softball school
Yep,
now.
yep.
Hey, I hold my head proudly.
But you are concerned about going into that new conference.
Ohio
Oh.
State and Michigan would have
Oh,
to
you
be
better
up there
believe it.
too.
They would.
I know they're
They
not
would.
baseball schools, but
And
but they're good at a lot of stuff.
But they are still. Let me think a minute. Till Florida came along and did it, Ohio State and Michigan were the only 2 universities to have a baseball, basketball, and football national title. But Florida ended that whenever they won back-to-back basketball titles. Because,
05-06, right?
yeah.
Did they do it in the same year? Did they win a football and a basketball in the same
I believe they
in the
did.
same year?
I don't know.
Was that when Tebow was there? Or Chris Lee?
It had to be close.
Mm-hmm.
This seems to me like that would have been prior to Tebow, but then again,
Yeah,
time goes
it might
by
have
so
been.
fast. We talk about that all the time. Time goes by so fast. It might have been. I don't know the years Tebow played. I can't tell you the years he played at Florida.
Well, let's
Yeah.
see. They won it.
I think it's around 07.
They won it in 06 and 08, so that had to be one of those years. Had to be when the basketball team won it.
And that was the old ball coach, right? Steve Spurrier winning those.
No, that was Urban Meyer.
That was Urban Meyer.
Spurrier won it in '96.
So just once.
Yeah,
Yep.
they have three titles and 2 unclaimed national titles.
What was the name of the legendary coach that preceded Spurrier? Galen Hall?
Yeah.
Galen?
Yeah.
That
Galen Hall.
Galen something?
Mhm.
Yeah, he.
Is that it?
Well, it says he only coached 6 years.
Oh,
but that
okay.
is one of the names.
Yeah.
Well, he coached Emmett. He recruited Emmett Smith, and that was. Or Emmett was not from the state of Florida, I don't think, and I think it was a big deal or something to land
was.
him.
Yeah,
and
it
then,
would have been.
Well, I looked up those Pirines. They're from Alabama.
Are they
One
really?
went to Florida and one went to Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Wow.
they escaped the wrath of Saban.
Speaking of college
Yeah.
football, one of the headlines, University of Tennessee hit with NCAA infractions.
Avoids the bowl ban.
Yeah, but $8 million.
Fined over $8 million.
The big thing, though, is a loss of 28 scholarships.
That's it, because $8 million to a
That's
university of
nothing.
that size.
No.
Hey, Emmett grew up in Pensacola, Florida.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I got some
Makes a
info
little more
from
sense.
Don Revels here.
Yeah.
Top
Pensacola.
15 schools by championships won, and UCLA is second.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got the same thing from Rodney.
The top 3
same
are
time.
all from the same state.
In the NCAA championships, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I just told you UCLA is second, so
Yep.
that means it's California.
Yeah, Stanford.
The top 3, yeah, Stanford, UCLA,
And
Southern Cal.
It'd have to be Southern Cal.
Yeah.
California.
All have over 100 titles.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know what I'd like
Yeah,
to
nobody
see?
else is.
I would like to see a
close.
list, though, and that's awesome. I mean, it really is. But now, what I'd like to see is a list of what would all you consider major college sports.
I hate to disparage the other sports, but we all know that the money-making
Right.
sports, football, baseball, basketball.
And maybe even softball now.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I mean,
softball.
I would
Softball,
say
yeah.
I would put
Let's add
football
softball to
on
that.
a tier by itself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But then you got men's and women's basketball, and then baseball and softball.
Number
Yeah.
one with football. Nobody else, no other sport can say that we seat
85,000,
100,000,
Yeah.
whatever it may be,
Yeah.
for each event. The other sports
Yeah.
can't claim that, and probably never will.
Yeah.
Not
Football far and away.
I mean, you can't do it. That basketball, you can't have a crowd that big, or you won't be able to see it. But I would like to see what it is, what those rankings are, with the 4 major sports only included. And I will throw softball in there, Mike. I'm going to tell you that's going to help Oklahoma a lot
Oh yeah.
in those rankings to throw those in.
Yeah, they won 7 since 2014.
But they have not won a basketball
No.
or a baseball. I don't
No,
think
they haven't.
Not to my knowledge. I don't think they've won a baseball.
They lost to Danny Manning and the Kansas Miracle in '88. That's
And where would Texas come in? Because Texas has won baseball.
that's right.
and a couple. I don't know where they stand with Oklahoma in national football championships. Don't recall Texas winning a basketball.
I don't either. They've had some Final Fours.
Had some good teams, but not able to get over the hump.
Right.
And don't really know about their softball either. But I would guess they've won one.
This list goes down to, which includes every sport, but it goes down to 31 total titles. There's a couple teams tied at 31. But Stanford has 123 national titles. UCLA 118 and Southern Cal 107.
Yeah, I mean Stanford's won a couple in the last few years to pass.
And then it drops down to 52 for the fourth place school. So
what state is it from?
Oklahoma. But it's not Oklahoma.
Oh, it's not Oklahoma. OSU?
Yep.
Wow. You mean OSU tops?
Oh, Mike. You're in trouble this morning.
Oklahoma is not on the
Cowboys.
list. So Oklahoma has 30 or less national titles. Oklahoma State has 52.
Wow.
And out to the
I'm
side,
guessing UNC is in that.
They have 44.
44. I figured they would be in the list there. And outside of that, what?
So out to the side, it has how many different sports they've won titles in. So Stanford's won it in 20 different sports.
Wow.
UCLA, 20 sports.
20.
Southern Cal, 17 sports. Oklahoma State, only 5 sports. So what are the bulk of theirs coming in?
And how many is it?
Not football.
They've won 52 titles in only 5 sports. So there's got to be at least one that they're winning a lot.
Gymnastics.
Is it that? Is it?
It seems
golf?
like it's something off the wall that they're very.
Softball.
It might look up. I would like to see women's gymnastics. One of them schools golf. They've always been good at golf.
There's some
look
some
at
major
the golfers that come out of
golfers
Oklahoma,
that come from
Oklahoma State.
When Hank Iba coached them, I thought he coached at Oklahoma State, but then it wasn't Oklahoma State. That was back in the 40s. I think he won a couple NCAA titles.
My wife says golf with exclamation points. Right before I got it out.
Here's a big one. Wrestling.
Okay.
34 wrestling titles.
Wow.
34 Oklahoma State wrestling titles. I bet Butch Ross could have told us that.
11 golf titles.
11 golf.
No, they do like wrestling and golf. Or some of those individual and some team. Does that? I would think you'd have to just say this is all team titles, right?
Maybe not. I mean, who do you consider the top wrestling program in the country?
I always thought it was
right?
Iowa and Penn State.
Okay.
Isn't Penn State the other? I mean, and
well,
Penn State's probably on your list.
Penn State's on the list with 51 total national titles. Iowa is not.
Yeah.
So you'd think if it was if they had individual titles, Iowa would have to be over 30.
Yeah, they probably would. Yeah, it's probably team titles.
So golf and what was the other sport for Oklahoma State?
Wrestling.
Combined for how many of their 52?
45.
Well, there you go.
They have 2 basketball.
Are you brushing them off, Mike? Is that what you're doing?
I'm not brushing
as
them
an
off.
Oklahoma fan, you're just brushing them aside.
They have 2 basketball and 1 baseball.
So they did win it in baseball. Hadn't it? Baseball's been recent, hadn't it? Seems like.
And 4 cross country.
4 cross country.
Oh, it's still a good record.
So in the major sports, they only have 3. But they're 4th on the list overall national titles.
Right. And how many did you say Oklahoma has? 31 or something like that?
No, I just said they have less than 31 because that's what the list goes down to.
What's Oklahoma State missing to be a national football power? Because they're always pretty good.
Yeah.
They're always pretty good. But they've not really knocked on the door of the playoffs.
It's got to be the right coach, right?
Do you think that's what it is right now? Because what's the guy's name? He's been there forever.
Oh, yeah, Mike Gundy.
Gundy. Been there 20 years, I'm guessing. Something like that, 15 or 20.
Pick on me. I'm 40.
Pick on. How about Pickens? Boone Pickens.
Boone Pickens.
The money behind.
Yeah.
The T-Boone, that's right.
The
money behind
Oklahoma
the Oklahoma State program. T. Boone Pickens Stadium, by the way, in football.
Yeah, Gundy's the all-time winner at Oklahoma State. They typically, they win anywhere from 9 to 11 games almost every year. They haven't been able to beat Oklahoma with any kind of consistency. That hurts them at the end of the year with Bedlam. They're a player, but you're right. They haven't.
No, Google has Oklahoma with 43 national championships.
Hey,
but they weren't on that list, that other list. So I don't know what the
makes me wonder. Well,
differences in this says Oklahoma has 12 men's gymnastics national titles.
Oklahoma does.
Yeah,
We got some women's
not Oklahoma
gymnastic
State.
titles too.
6.
Okay.
7 football, 7 softball, 7 wrestling, 2 baseball, and 2 golf.
Now that's what I call versatility.
Now Mike's dissing those national championships in golf and wrestling, but he's all over those gymnastics.
Well, no, I'm not.
How many, Brett?
Men's gymnastics,
Yeah.
12 for Oklahoma.
12.
Hey.
Name me the best gymnast of all time at Oklahoma, Mike.
You know I can't.
Well, neither can I.
He should have just threw a name out there.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known. Oh, that would have to be, you know. Got a couple things here from Lenny and Rodney. This from Lenny says Oklahoma. First, let me say he said Galen Hall followed Charlie Pale at Florida.
Florida. Charlie Pale. That's right.
And I remember the name Charlie Pale, but I don't remember a whole lot about the man himself.
Yeah. Well,
Oklahoma State, also from Lenny here, won several in basketball under Hank Iba.
Hank Abba. That's
Yeah.
right.
It was called Oklahoma A&M
A&M.
at the time, so I'm
There you
guessing
go.
they're getting to count those since it is the
Yeah,
same
same.
school.
It is.
Hank
Abba. That was in the 40s. I'm pretty sure.
Rodney's text goes back to the number again. Stanford's won the most NCAA championships. Both Stanford and UCLA have won over 100 championships in 20 different sports. He says Grundy.
Grundy instead of Gundy.
Instead, I don't know if they meant to do that. But instead of Gundy, was the quarterback at. Now, was he the starter? Because I don't remember that, and that, you know, I wouldn't remember whoever it was. Okay, but was he the starter at Oklahoma State when they had these two superstars in the backfield?
Barry Sanders. Who was the other one?
That's
Thurman Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good backfield.
It is.
One was older.
Yeah, you
though.
wouldn't
Thomas
know
was
who
a little-
the
I think
quarterback
Thomas,
was.
No, you wouldn't. It wouldn't matter either. Thomas wouldn't. Thomas came right after, or right before. Right before, I think Barry. I think he was
Barry.
right before Barry Sanders. But they did overlap. And had them both at the same time. But yeah.
You know what? Do you know what Stanford's top program is?
Volleyball. Men's volleyball.
Well, they do have 2 men's volleyball titles and 9 women's, but that's not
Oh,
even
so I had the
close
wrong
to
one.
their top sport.
To their top. It's not golf, is it?
No, but they are very good in golf.
Yeah.
9 national titles in men's golf.
Oh, they had this real good guy one time. I'm trying to remember
Yeah.
his name.
Yeah, what was his name?
I think it was called Tiger something.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he was part of the 94 team
Okay.
because they did win it in 94.
Yep.
Tennis.
Really?
17 men's tennis national championships,
Yeah.
20 women's tennis national championships.
37 total.
Okay, we got into the conversation yesterday. What's the 3 courts you can play on, Brett? The 3 surfaces?
Grass,
Clay.
clay, and what is it?
Whatever the U.S. Open
Concrete.
is. It's all
Well, I
right.
don't know what it is.
Because I'm not 100%
I don't
sure.
know.
Neither.
Is it rubber?
You'd
I
think
mean,
you
what-
wouldn't want to play on concrete this day and time when you don't have to.
Well,
But-
what's the courts of the U.S. Open? What's that surface?
Composite.
Composite. Okay.
Plywood.
Yeah, to me it's just like a
Particle
standard
board.
American
Right.
tennis court. I've never really
It's got to
known
be smooth.
what it
you
is.
know.
Yeah. Gotta be smooth.
Maybe it is concrete. I don't know. That's
Of course, we know clay is the French Open, right?
is that the
course.
only one? They do play on clay somewhere. And
Yeah,
yes.
French Open for sure. I don't
For
know
the
about
Grand
the
Slam
Australia.
event.
Wimbledon
yeah.
grass.
Wimbledon's
grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going on right now.
Yeah.
Where are we there?
The
How
Aus-
far
is
are
the
we
Australian Open, I guess, the same as the U.S. Whatever the
No, one's in Australia.
there? You're talking about
Surface.
surfaces.
Yeah. The one we don't know what it is exactly. Somebody out there is bound to tell us what it is. Rodney guessed rowing on that Stanford title list, that it would be rowing. How many rowing titles?
You seem to get more rowing titles in the Northeast for some reason. I don't know why in those schools.
this just says hard courts. There's
Hard courts.
grass, clay, and hard
Hard
courts.
courts, yeah. Well,
both the Australian and U.S. Opens are played on this surface.
Hard courts.
Yep, Lenny says we're right. The French Open is on clay.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. Open is played on an acrylic hard court, while the Australian Open is played on a synthetic surface.
Oh, there you go.
Speaking of Wimbledon, and we got to take a timeout.
But I bet the tennis courts at Lincoln High School aren't the exact same as what the U.S. Open
probably
is
not.
played
No,
on.
it would be
At any high school.
But it is a hard court, but
Right.
probably a different type.
They're real hard if you fall on them.
Less maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go to break, we're talking about Wimbledon for a second. Did you guys hear that? I can't remember if his first name was Larry. That's what comes to mind. Nasser
Mm-hmm.
was stabbed in prison
I did.
repeatedly over a comment he made about women's tennis at Wimbledon.
Is that what it was?
That's what I heard. But
I never saw a reason.
I read that somewhere that it had to do with the comment he made about women's tennis. You know, he's the one that went to prison for.
Yeah.
He was a doctor at Michigan State, the team doctor,
and was also
inappropriate
in the U.S.
Also involved with the U.S.
Team
women's
USA.
gymnastics.
inappropriate activities with the female athletes
That's
at
right.
Michigan State. And he's not the only one that's happened to in the last 10, 15 years.
And I think it was
put
not
away,
just
but-
Michigan State, because he was with Team USA, correct, and I think in gymnastics. So
you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's one of those that a lot of people are saying don't care that he was stabbed in prison. You know, kind of like when Jeffrey Dahmer,
yeah,
you know, was
he killed in prison?
He was.
Dahmer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's take that time out. Appreciate you tuning in to Sports Talk this morning. Back with more after this.
Bag it up during the big bag sale going on now at Bean Brothers Hardware and Supply in Lincoln. Get 3 bags of pelletized or pulverized lime for just $17.99. Hey, you'll rock and roll with 3 bags of rock for $25. Select from pea gravel, pond pebbles, white and mini marble chips, egg rock, river pebbles, mountain blend, sunshade blend, and red lava. 3 bags for $25. All during the big bag sale at Bean Brothers Hardware and Supply, 969 Reachville Road in Lincoln. Online at beanbrothershardware.com. Like them on Facebook too.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Beauchamps, I have a toothache. Where should I go?
Well, Tim, I'd go to John Cloninger Dentistry in Lincoln. He takes care of all my dental needs. Cleanings and deep cleanings, crowns, bridges, fillings, dentures. He can even help you with your sleep apnea.
And guess what, Bo? He has a partner, Dr. Aaron Hevner.
That's right, Tim. Stop in at Dr. John Cloninger's Dentistry today. Let Dr. Erwin Hevner and John brighten your smile.
John Cloninger Dentistry, 904 Doncha Drive, Lincoln. Hours Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Or call 704-735-0765.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Darrell Hatchett Family Dentistry is not just a name, it's the way you're treated the minute you walk in. A full-service dental practice with over 20 years experience and lifelong resident of Catawba and Lincoln County. His commitment and caring run deep in the community. Located at the intersection of Highway 150 and Business 16 in Denver, he's convenient to where you are. Open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5, so look no further for your dentist than Darrell Hatchett Family Dentistry. Call 704-489-9919 for your appointment or more information. Darrell Hatchett Family Dentistry.
Stop by Lowe's Home Improvement in Lincolnton for their great deals on items for summer. Looking for cordless tools? Check out the great deals on Craftsman and DeWalt, including buy one, get one free on select DeWalt Craftsman products. Don't forget the outdoor activities too, with great deals on the new Blackstone flat top grills and a great selection of patio furniture. Freshen up the flower beds with a large selection of bag mulch with a 12-month color guarantee. Shop Lowe's in Lincolnton for the things you want to buy today.
Triad Corrugated Metal in Lincoln is this area's headquarters for premium metal roofing and supplies. And now just arrived, square tubing for metal carports and metal buildings. Give them a call at 980-429-2278 for pricing and sizes. And they have a wide variety of colors. Visit the website at triadcorrugatedmetal.com. And like them on Facebook too, Triad Corrugated Metal, 108 Industrial Park Road in Lincoln.
And welcome back to Sports Talk. David, Mike, and Brett with you. Heading into the second quarter here this morning. Oh, man, baseball is back. Major League Baseball team's back on the field last night. I didn't notice any glaring headlines or anything. Mike Powell has a call. He'll be back with us. Or is that Laney's phone?
Must be Laney's.
I hear a phone.
It's not mine.
Yep, it's behind me.
Yep.
But baseball is back. Football's just around the corner. A lot of mini camps going on this past week. It's Mike, we talked about it during the baseball game. It's been a kind of a dull week for sports unless you are a fan of the home run derby and the All-Star game.
Oh, yeah, it was a rough week.
Yeah. And even if you're a fan of that, Wednesday and Thursday –
I saw Sports Center yesterday morning showing college football highlights from last year.
Is that right? They're running a rerun?
Yeah, a Sports Center rerun.
They let so many people off, they might have to run reruns for Sports Center.
Any thoughts on that?
The layoffs?
A lot of big names.
That's what big companies do.
That's what they do. And you know what, Mike, like you and I were talking about just a couple of days ago, how do you continue to pay these multi-million-dollar salaries to some of these people?
Yeah.
And okay,
there's one guy though that they will not lay off.
Mike Greenberg is one.
Apparently,
John Anderson is one. They will not get rid of John Anderson.
And there's another one.
Well, so okay, I've already named you two.
Stephen A.
Stephen A. Why?
I don't know. I just think he's sort of become the face of the franchise, so to speak.
I didn't hear his comments, but I heard he commented, had comments on the layoffs.
Oh yeah, he was. He blasted it.
Yeah. Yep.
Which leads me to believe he's
good on there. I like him, and I usually agree with what he's saying. Used to kind of irritate you a bit with the way he presented, his comments, but because he would be yelling.
That's right.
But
yelling is one of the things he's.
But I do like him. I don't know if he's a North Carolina native, but he went to college in the state.
Did he?
Of North Carolina, Winston-Salem State.
He go to Winston?
Yeah,
I think. Sure did. Played basketball there, but I usually do agree with most of his opinions on different things, for sure. But Jason says Disney announced this week they are looking to sell their stake in ABC and ESPN.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what that's. Well, it depends on who.
Mm-hmm.
There's not but a handful of people out there that could buy it.
Could buy it.
Right? So
Yeah.
Is Lanny one of them?
I hope.
He's already the king of all media in Lincoln County.
I don't know. The people that come to my mind is Bezos.
Bezos.
Is he a team owner yet? Did he buy into any? Jeff Bezos, did he buy into
talk
any
that he
team,
was
or
going
did
to
he
buy
just
the
try?
Washington?
I don't think so.
Yeah, and I don't even know if he want to deal with something like that. Who's the one that bought Twitter?
Elon
Musk.
Okay, yeah, somebody like
purchased
that,
Twitter.
possibly interested. I don't know, but what I was going to ask you guys, we're talking about the layoffs at ESPN. If you're going to watch SportsCenter, does it matter to you who's bringing it to you?
Well, you get used to some of these veterans, but not really.
Nope,
No,
it don't to me.
doesn't
If I'm
matter.
going to, same way with watching a basketball game or a football game. I
Okay.
like the people they have doing them, but I mean, it's not going to.
Well, okay. How about?
I can't imagine any of the people that are hired there affect their audience. But I will say this: when Mike and Mike left the air, I never listened again.
No, and they've
As a team, when they left as a team.
Since Mike and Mike broke up, ESPN has struggled to fill that morning time slot. Hadn't been able to do it successfully.
Yep.
In radio, I'm talking about
I don't know who
radio.
you could put on there that would change it, and maybe whoever you had to put on there to change it would draw a huge salary. I don't know, but I don't.
Well, they've tried several.
On talk shows, you do listen to who you like the best.
Yes, you do.
We got to be honest there. You do listen to whoever
that
you like.
is a personal choice.
That's why our audience is so small.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are listening to who they like the best, right, Mike?
That's right. our audience is minuscule.
Denny says, learn something every day when I listen. I didn't know Stephen A. went to a North Carolina.
I didn't either.
College in North Carolina. I'm pretty sure about that.
Okay.
Yeah. What was?
Isn't he from? Is he from New York?
I don't know.
I don't think he's from North Carolina.
I don't think he is either. But he did go to school and play basketball here.
No, he's not from North Carolina.
Jason says, while at Winston-Salem State, Stephen A. Smith wrote this for the student newspaper.
All right.
And called for the basketball coach to retire, while he was also a member of the basketball team. How about that?
Yeah.
He wrote an article about the coach.
I love it.
He should have went to Northwestern.
Yeah. Where the student newspaper brought down a longtime, much-beloved coach Pat Fitzgerald with their reporting.
Now we have a correction.
Oh.
This is going to correct
Me?
Mike Powell.
Oh, no.
Or Brett. No, Brett didn't comment on Shelby winning state title in Legion. He only commented, I think, on Cherville's win. What year?
98 and 03.
But Lenny must have done the research here. Shelby did not win the Legion tournament at East Carolina back in 09 or 2010.
They won in 01, didn't they?
They lost to Rowan in the finals, but Jamie Ray did play on the state championship team early in the 2000s.
That's right.
Yeah.
01,
Ray went on to play at
02.
not UCLA, ECU. Got my initials mixed
That's
up.
right.
Went on to play at ECU.
That's right.
Been a lot of good players in our area go play down at East Carolina.
Yeah, the year that the tournament was at East Carolina, I think Shelby got beat in the finals. I think they eliminated Cherville, maybe might have been the game before the finals.
Yeah, and did he say here? I'm trying to see. No, not listed. Who beat them in the finals?
Did he say Rowan? I think
maybe
Rowan.
he did. Yeah, he did. Rowan was in there. You're right.
And Rowan was who gave Cherville their first loss in that tournament. That was I thought Cherville had a good enough team to win the tournament. There was a lot of stuff went wrong, like the passing out of players and umpires during the opening ceremony.
I think it was hot.
It might have been a little scuffle in the stands at some point during that tournament.
Talking about ECU.
Yeah.
Let me throw this.
Well, Cherville won it in 07 at Garner.
Yeah.
We'd already discussed that one, Mike. How hot it was.
Right.
It was.
Well, I thought the year at ECU, I thought Cherville had maybe the best team there. Things didn't go their way.
Lenny says, I guess Stephen A. played for Clarence Big House Gaines. Yes, he did.
All right.
Yep, back in the day. I'm going to give you the surface here. Deco Turf, that's a brand name, Deco Turf, cushioned acrylic surface. That's what's at Arthur Ashe Stadium. I'm guessing all the courts there are probably that. I doubt there's a lack of capital to get things done at Flushing Meadows, New York. I wonder how close that is to the old Shea Stadium. I used to say, were they next door to each other? And Citi Field now was built adjacent to Shea. Is that what they did? And then tore Shea down to make,
I don't know.
It's all right there in Queens.
Yeah.
But I can't, I don't know if they're side by side or not, but I want to think that they are side by side. Mike, I've just got a question here.
Yep.
Lenny says you are correct about a scuffle in the stands at ECU. You had mentioned last night a David Bowie trivia question.
Oh, yeah.
Arthur Ashe Stadium and Citi Field are very close together, like right across the street from each other.
That's what I was thinking. And Shea was right beside. You know how they do stadiums most time. They don't have any space, so they build a stadium and tear in the parking lot and tear the other one down and make it parking lot. I mean, that's just usually the way that happens. And I've always wondered why stadiums, I know it's more money, but when you're building, why don't they build parking decks at stadiums? A few of them have them close by.
Yeah.
But these that are out in the suburbs or whatever, instead of making people walk, half a mile to get there or take a shuttle, why not a parking deck?
I know.
All right, Mike, it was Denny. No, not Denny. Who was it called me out on the
Who's calling me out?
Was it Lenny? No. Was it Rodney? No. Well, somebody called me out or called us out.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what your David Bowie trivia question was.
Okay.
That you were going to ask last night. And I said save it for
It's about two musicians, David Bowie and Bob Dylan.
Well, Brett's got half a chance. What'd you say?
It's about David Bowie and Bob Dylan.
That's not a question.
Now I got a question.
Well, throw it out there.
Okay. Which of those two artists has actually acted in more movies?
David Bowie.
That's right.
50-50, I remember, I don't know what the movies were. I don't even know if, has Dylan been in a movie?
Yeah, it's called Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Okay. He wrote some of the music for it and had a small part.
I don't remember the movies for David Bowie, but I just remember him being
The Man Who Fell from Earth is one of them.
Okay.
The Hunger, which was a vampire movie, and it was one more, which I can't think of at the moment.
You know it, Brett?
No, I've never seen any of those with either person. I wouldn't have guessed Bob Dylan had even been in a movie.
Yeah.
So
Tangled Up in Blue. Have you not ever seen that?
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Butch says he has an opinion on the announcers for games. The announcer matters to me. Haven't watched Bob Lee on ESPN since he did the hatchet job on Kevin Wilson. That proved nothing. Only watch Scott Van Pelt on ESPN these days, and Scott is one of the best.
He is one of the best,
no matter what he does. But I wish he didn't come on at midnight.
Yeah,
because
so late.
That don't do me. Most of the time, that does. Now during Legion baseball or right now, it's okay.
Yeah, I would say when he is hosting Sports Center, that matters.
Yeah, he does a great job.
Yeah, the others, you're right, are sort of interchangeable.
Yeah, but that highlight show.
They've always been
not the same. John Anderson.
Been some that have been
Neil
better,
even got better
than others.
Neil Everett, yeah.
After like Dan Patrick and Stuart Scott
or Keith Oberman. Dan and Keith were together early.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep, Stuart Scott was good, very good. But yeah, I don't. Who's the guy with John Anderson now at night that does it? We've heard some stories on John Anderson, and they're not too likable, right, Brett?
I guess the one that floored me was the Monday night thing with Susie Kobler, 27 years with the network. And of course, Steve Young's been there a long time. But a lot of people scratch their heads over Jeff Van Gundy on the NBA telecast.
Yeah, that one got you, didn't it?
Well, he's considered one of the best.
I don't know what their reasoning is or why they pick who they pick to let go. If it's just the people that make the most money, but
probably it.
I rarely watch NBA the playoffs, and I'm watching it anyway. Van Gundy or no Van Gundy.
Yeah.
There's when they do those layoffs, there's always going to be some of the people you like the most, or
yeah,
because they're making the most money. They have the most status.
Mm-hmm. Well, who was last round? Can you remember any of the? You know, how fast we forget. They had a big layoff like this just 3 or 4 years ago.
I know.
Maybe less than that.
I know.
And it's not changed many
back
people.
Back then there were guys like Trey Wingo was among that first wave, I think. And there were some others.
Oh, was Mike Golick a layoff, or did he?
Yeah, he was a layoff.
Yeah. Well, of course, the other Mike was going in a different direction with Get Up.
What about Rich Eisen? Did he leave on his own terms, or?
I think he did. I think Rich Eisen he left before any of these started. As far as I know, he left on his own terms and went to what is the thing he's with now. So, same thing Dan Patrick's on. If it's
the Peacock thing.
Yeah, but they didn't go to Peacock for. I don't even know if Rich Eisen shows on Peacock again still now.
I don't know what's on Peacock. I only hear Dan Patrick on the radio, and it's channel 85 is all I can tell you. That is an NBC Sports station.
What is?
85.
Peacock.
85 on Sirius.
Well, Peacock is NBC. Peacock is owned by. That's just part of NBC. Denny says, speaking of fields, Lane Hoover playing up in Kentucky in the Independent League said all the games Lane has played on in independent ball, they have all been turf. Surprisingly, all of them have been.
Is that wooden bat?
Turf. Even in the Bluegrass State, they got.
Question: is that wooden bat?
Yes. Yeah.
Now,
is anything you advance to after college wooden bat? It seems like it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, I think college should go to wooden bat.
They should. Yeah, we talked about that last week. Too many home runs.
Yeah.
It almost. They're not as special.
No.
When there's too many home runs, they're just not as special. Rodney says Bowie's been in multiple movies. 2 I definitely remember: The Labyrinth and Zoolander.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know about those. So yeah. I know definitely The Man Who Fell from Earth and The Hunger.
Well, that's why he's been in more. Some we don't even know of.
Yeah.
One of the few announcers we know by their initials, SVP. That comes from Lenny, talking about Scott Van Pelt. And what's the guy? The guy still with him that's always been his sidekick, Stanford Steve?
Yeah.
Is he still in the studio?
Not sure.
Yeah. Like I said, I hadn't seen it in a while because it comes on at it comes on in the
12 midnight.
It actually comes on in the early morning.
Yeah. How about Matt Hasselbeck? He was a victim too of the purge. Right?
Yeah, he was good. He was good at what he did. But
Matt Hasselbeck.
He was on the ESPN pregame show for football, NFL.
Well, that's going to be different on Sunday. The Sunday countdown.
No Susie.
Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't Susie anyway. No. Never mind. She's Monday night countdown.
Yeah, she's Monday night.
It was Ponder, Samantha Ponder.
They axed her too.
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
Who else was on that? Randy Moss.
Yep. He does a good job on there, too.
Booger McFarland.
The best one, though, is Rex Ryan. He's just, you never know what he's going to say or do.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the most entertaining.
He keeps you on edge because you know something. He's going to do something crazy.
Yeah, he's the most entertaining one of that group.
Jason says the recent round of layoffs at ESPN was the third round in just this year as Disney had layoffs company-wide.
Yeah, thousands.
The previous 2 rounds of layoffs did not include on-air talent. Yeah. Well, they did this time, and that's where because that's the bulk of the money.
The money.
Yep, that's
on-air talent.
That's the high-paid category right there. Going through some of these, we went through Joe Mixon re-signing with the Bengals last night. There was something that I brought up earlier that I want to make sure we talked about, and it's slipping my mind right now. But one of the big things that did happen is we got our baseball back, and to be honest, this is going to be my first look at most of the scores.
Yeah.
From Friday night, Padres beat the Phillies 8-3. Now, who did I hear in an interview this week talking about teams that could get hot and make a World Series run? I can't remember who it was, Buster Olney or Tim Kirchin, somebody. But the first one out of his mouth was the Phillies. And I'm like, man, they're in a division that they're not going to win.
Well, they made it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're 48-42, but they're going to have to get hot in a hurry. They start off the unofficial second half of the year with an 8-3 loss last night to the Padres. The Orioles beat the Marlins 5-2. Giants over the Pirates 6-4. Blue Jays over Arizona 7-2. The Dodgers shut out the Mets. What about those Mets? 20-20 at home, 42-49. 7 games below 500. Dodgers win 6-0. The Brewers beat the Reds 1-0. I was keeping up with this one some, and it just kept going and going and going. Burns, if I've got the name right, nearly faints in the sweltering heat in Cincinnati, but strikes out 13. So that's pretty impressive.
Notice both teams have 50 and 42 records.
Was that right? Both are 50. Yeah, you're exactly right. 50 and 42.
And almost identical records.
No, those are identical records.
Yeah. And I was talking, Brewers 24-21 away, Reds 23-22 at home.
Yeah, close to the same. Yeah. Yep. That's weird. Why does it put it that way?
I know.
Oh, because that's where they were last night. That's why.
Last night.
It's hard to believe the Reds are just 23-22.
Yeah, I thought that's where they were really
at home.
More dominant.
The Braves beat the White Sox 9-0. So status quo for Atlanta. They just pick up right where they left off. The White Sox. We talk about disappointments and the Mets being one. Are the White Sox not one?
Yeah.
I mean, I expected them to be in the running for the division title. They're 38-55.
Yeah, it's awful.
Just not getting done on the south side. Red Sox beat the Cubs 8-3. Red Sox did get it done in Chicago last night. I was trying to remember. It says Rafael Devers hit 2 long solo home runs. Well, all home runs are long, or they wouldn't get out of there. But what was the guy? I can't think. Names escape me all the time. Durant. I think he had a big game and has been tearing it up in July. I think he had another good game last night at the plate. Boston could not get the final out. They didn't want to use Jansen last night. I was actually watching at the end, and they couldn't get the final out. The bases got loaded. It was 8-3, and so they bring Jansen in. He threw 3 pitches and got a strikeout. So it didn't take him long. And he didn't have to use much of his energy. Probably burnt more energy throwing in the bullpen than he did on the hill last night. Rangers beat the Guardians 12-4. Nationals fall to the Cardinals. It's got both teams highlighted like they both won.
It's suspended.
Oh, thank you. I knew something was going on there.
Only played 3 innings.
Okay, 1-0 in the third. The Cardinals, a rare Cardinals lead. I hate to say that, but a rare Cardinals. Sorry, Butch. Lead at this time. The Rockies beat the Yankees 7-2 in Colorado. Also, the Astros over the Angels in Anaheim. Shohei allowed 4 runs in this game to the Astros. I think the Astros are about to bust loose. They ended it. Didn't they just look hot right before the All-Star break, Brett, and head in with a lot of momentum? I know a lot of people don't like them.
They lost 3 out of 4 to Seattle.
Oh, did they? Yeah, there you go.
So much for that.
Well, they won 1 in Seattle. That's what I was basing it on. I don't know if they'll make their move or not then. I mean, they're 51-41. They don't have to make much of one, but, like we said before, you don't have to win your division. You just got to get in the playoffs. We've seen that in the past, especially since we've had wild cards. Twins beat the A's 5-4. The Tigers hold off the Mariners in Seattle 5-4 as well. And the Rays and the Royals in Kansas City were rained out last night. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we will look at the Major League Baseball standings and maybe, see who we think might surprise some people and still make the playoffs. Back in a moment.
Bag it up during the big bag sale. Going on now at Bean Brothers Hardware and Supply in Lincoln. Get 3 bags of pelletized or pulverized lime for just $17.99. Hey, you'll rock and roll with 3 bags of rock for $25. Select from pea gravel, pond pebbles, white and mini marble chips, egg rock, river pebbles, mountain blend, sunshade blend, and red lava. 3 bags for $25. All during the big bag sale at Bean Brothers Hardware and Supply, 969 Reachville Road in Lincoln. Online at beanbrothershardware.com. Like them on Facebook too.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Bo Schrontz, I have a toothache. Where should I go?
Well, Tim, I'd go to John Cloninger Dentistry in Lincolnton. He takes care of all my dental needs. Cleanings and deep cleanings, crowns, bridges, fillings, dentures. He could even help you with your sleep apnea.
And guess what, Bo? He has a partner, Dr. Aaron Hevner.
That's right, Tim. Stop in at Dr. John Cloninger's Dentistry today. Let Dr. Irvin Hevner and John brighten your smile.
John Cloninger Dentistry, 904 Dacha Drive, Lincoln. Hours Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Or call 704-735-0765.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Daryl Hatchett Family Dentistry is not just a name, it's the way you're treated the minute you walk in. A full-service dental practice with over 20 years' experience and lifelong resident of Catawba and Lincoln County. His commitment and caring run deep in the community. Located at the intersection of Highway 150 and Business 16 in Denver, he's convenient to where you are. Open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5, so look no further for your dentist than Daryl Hatchett Family Dentistry. Call 704-489-9919 for your appointment or more information. Daryl Hatchett Family Dentistry.
Stop by Lowe's Home Improvement in Lincolnton for their great deals on items for summer. Looking for cordless tools? Check out the great deals on Craftsman and DeWalt, including buy one, get one free on select DeWalt Craftsman products. Don't forget the outdoor activities too, with great deals on the new Blackstone flat top grills and a great selection of patio furniture. Freshen up the flower beds with a large selection of bag mulch with a 12-month color guarantee. Shop Lowe's in Lincolnton for the things you want to buy today.
Triad Corrugated Metal in Lincoln is this area's headquarters for premium metal roofing and supplies. And now just arrived, square tubing for metal carports and metal buildings. Give them a call at 980-429-2278 for pricing and sizes. And they have a wide variety of colors. Visit the website at triadcorrugatedmetal.com. And like them on Facebook too, Triad Corrugated Metal, 108 Industrial Park Road in Lincoln.
And welcome back. Third quarter here. Good Saturday morning. Looks like it might be just a touch of clouds out there. The sun's not shining real bright at this point. You get the good sunshine, the heat builds up, the thunderstorms roll in, and then repeat.
Rinse, repeat. Yeah.
Seems like every day. Missed this one, Lenny says last night in the Red Sox game, Durant was 2 for 5 and Yoshida was 2 for 5. So, second half of baseball, I'm looking here now, 58 and 35 is 93. So, 70 roughly.
70 games left.
Yep. That's a lot of baseball yet to be played, but it does go by pretty quick
once you get
because
to August.
when they're playing every day, just about. So, Tampa still leads the. They no longer have the best record in baseball. Lost that a week or so ago, but they still lead the American League East, 58 and 35. But how about the Orioles?
Wow.
I mean, it looked like at one time that Tampa was just going to win eight to out of every 10. It looked like all the way through the season. But they've cooled off just enough, losing 7 of their last 10. And the Orioles have won 7 of the last 10 and have just about caught them, only a game and a half out. And I'm guessing this is the closest they've been since Tampa's run to start the Major League Baseball season. But they never fell where they couldn't recover. I mean, 6.5, was that about the biggest lead they had on the Orioles? I think I remember it being 6.5. Could have been more. I don't know. But here they are, right on the tail. Same in the loss column, as a matter of fact, as Tampa. 55 and 35. They are a game and a half back. Toronto 6.5. Boston 8.5. Yankees 8.5. It's amazing that the worst record is still 6 games over 500 in this division. Minnesota leads the Central 46-46. The Guardians, Cleveland is second, a half game out. Detroit 5 out. Chicago 8.5 out. Kansas City 19.5. I got stuck on Minnesota there for a minute and I didn't want to say anything. I heard this yesterday. The leading hitter for the Minnesota Twins batting average is
310.
Want to guess?
270.
I want to say it was 226.
Wow.
It was something in that range. The leading hitter. Oh yeah. See if you can see Twins batting average. Now this one you have to qualify. It can't be somebody that's only batted 3 times all season, something like that. But it has to be an everyday player that qualifies.
I wish I could sort this by plate appearances.
But I heard yesterday.
Well, Carlos Correa, who's probably their highest paid hitter, is hitting 228.
That might be it. He's the one. So I missed it by a couple points. 228.
Well, there's a Donovan Solano who has played in 79 games, 220 at bats. And that's almost 100 less at bats than Correa, but he's hitting 286.
I guess that's why he does not qualify. Well, I'm guessing this is people that are starting. It was on Dan Patrick, I'll tell you that. It was people, I guess, that are in the starting lineup right now regularly.
Yeah.
But
Byron Buxton's hitting 205.
Wow. I mean, how? And they're in first place.
Yeah.
How can you?
Think about it. They're even 500, and I'm amazed they're at 500. But
Joey Gallo 189.
Yeah, that's why he's not a Yankee anymore. I mean, he was brought in there to hit home runs and probably at least hit 230, 220. Not happening.
Michael Taylor 216. Max Kepler 209. And those are everyday players.
They must have a heck of a pitching staff.
Christian Vasquez, your former Red Sox, 211.
Isn't that hard to believe? Dan's point was, as far as
and they're not even hitting a lot of home runs.
As far as teams, GMs, managers, they don't even care about batting averages anymore. Batting average does not weigh in hardly anymore to who gets in the lineup. It doesn't seem like anyway.
Gallo leads them in home runs with 16.
That must be all. He's probably got 17 hits.
But just 30 RBI. I mean,
Wow.
Correa leads the team with 38 RBI. That's not good.
Although they have scored more runs than their opponent.
Barely. I'm guessing barely. Hadn't looked.
20 plus 28. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's not bad.
exactly barely.
I'm trying to think. Gallo has 17 home runs. And
It might have said 16. Yeah, well, it says they're 8th in the league in home runs, so I guess they have hit a lot of home runs. It didn't seem like a lot.
8th in the league is in the American League
No,
or in
it's
Major League
total.
Baseball?
Majors.
Total.
Okay. But
They're 24th in batting average.
I would like to
batting
know
average.
how many RBIs Gallo has that weren't off of a home run, because that
Well,
would
he
be,
had 30 total.
I know.
So,
I know.
yeah.
I mean, that would
Even if they were all
they
solos.
couldn't have all been solos either.
Yeah,
You know,
14.
I mean, I bet he may not have an RBI that was not from.
Yeah.
I mean, surely he's got one.
Yeah, you had to hit a sack
But-
fly. something.
Yeah, a sack
Or
fly.
It walked
Not
with
a base
bases
hit.
loaded.
God forbid a base hit. You know, that's just amazing. Lenny says, I look for the Astros to search for a pitcher at the trade deadline to bolster their run.
I look for the Dodgers to do that.
Everybody looks for their team to do it. They are missing
I look for
three
the Dodgers
starters.
to add a pitcher/hitter.
Yeah, yeah, from right down the street.
Yeah.
They are missing 3 starters from last year. This is the Astros. Lance McCullers and Luis Rock the Baby Garcia, I remember that, are out for the rest of the year, and Verlander going on free agency. Verlander's a Met, isn't he?
Yeah.
Think he's regretting that, or is the paycheck okay enough to hide it?
I don't know if. I don't know if he was.
Why can the
regret it.
Mets not win?
He pitched last night against the Dodgers.
Why can the Mets not win?
Yeah, I don't know.
Showalter the manager, or did I dream that? Why am I? Is that who? Wow, I didn't get
That's
it.
what I was thinking.
Yeah, and he's respectable, successful. Basically,
They lost their. I don't think this is why they're not winning, but they lost their closer before the season started in the whatever that baseball classic thing, Edwin Diaz.
Yeah, they did. Trumpet guy.
And that does, that's a big hit to the bullpen because that moves somebody else to closer. You got, one less really good arm in the bullpen. But
we're going to get to them in just a minute because I want to see what their run differential is. Let's go ahead and finish out the American League. The Rangers lead the West at 53-39. Houston, right there on their heels, 2 games back. Seattle, an even 500. 7 games out of first. The Angels are 8 games out, and Oakland 28.5 games out. They're ready to change the O on their the Oakland on their shirt to Vegas within the next couple years. Texas has been Texas, since they've been down a couple years, it's got to be a surprise to see them at the top. But their roster is worthy of being at
most
the top.
runs scored in the whole
Is
major
that right?
league. Yeah,
All right, 508 already, over 500 runs.
543.
And Corey Seager's been one of the ones that's helped trigger that. I know you don't want to hear that, Brett, but
No, I got no problem. I wish he was still a Dodger, but
Yeah. He does what everybody else does, though, right? When you're hot, you get that free agent money and capitalize on it.
he's hitting 355.
Wow, there is a guy. How close is our 500 guy? 400 guy. No, obviously nobody's close to 500.
I think he's down in the 380s now.
Is he? And who was that? I've already forgotten.
Yeah, he's 380 now.
Luis Reyes from the Marlins.
Right on 380.
380.
Lenny goes back to the Twins, says that's the Twins' problem because they gave up the best hitter in baseball this offseason when they traded just the one you're talking about, Luis Ara. I don't even know how to say it.
I'm pretty sure it's a Reyes.
Reyes. That's the way it looks.
Yeah, that's what it is.
To the Florida Marlins. Yeah.
Yeah, he's nobody. I don't think anybody's ever going to hit 400 again.
Probably not. You said he's in the 380 range now?
He's at 380.
Takes a lot to climb that back up
Yeah.
there. I mean, 20 points is a lot when you're this many at-bats. You can't do it like in a game or two. I don't even know if you can do it in a week or two, because you're not going to go 4 for 4 every night or 3 for 3 with walks or anything like that. You may do it occasionally, but it's hard to get it back up there. The Atlanta Braves, best record in baseball, 61-29. They lead the Marlins. To me, that's the surprise team in the National League this year, is the Miami Marlins. 13 games above the 500 mark, 53-40 on the season. Still 9.5 behind the Braves, though. But, what they got to chug along for is being a wild card team, and right now they're number 1 in that category, are the Marlins. The Phillies, 48-42, 13 back. The Mets are 19.5 back. Nationals, 25. The Brewers lead the Central. Actually, tie with Cincinnati, identical records at 50-42. The Cubs, 7 games behind. The Pirates, 8.5 back. And the Cardinals, 11 games out. 3 storied franchises there, all below 500. Cubs, Pirates, Cardinals, bringing up the rear in that division. Dodgers lead the West, 52-38. They lead by 1 game over Arizona, by 2.5 over the Giants. Looks like the best race here because it's 3 teams. Mm-hmm. The Padres, I don't know if they can climb back in or not. They definitely have the personnel to do it. They're 44-47, 8.5 out, and the Rockies, 18 games out of first place. So what I was going to ask you guys is there a team that's not playoff eligible at the moment that you think could become playoff eligible as we head down the stretch of the Major League Baseball season? Is there? Is there one? Or nobody?
No, I think we're clearly established.
I'll give you 2.
Okay.
Yankees, Padres.
Yeah, because the Yankees, if they get Judge back, they can score runs. Same way with the Padres.
Mm-hmm.
They can score.
The Yankees are 2 games out of the wild card.
Yeah, that's not much.
The Padres are 6 games out of the wild card right now.
Wow.
But there's 2 division teams that are ahead of them, Arizona and San Francisco. I just think San Diego's better than both of those teams.
Personnel-wise, yeah, I would not disagree with that.
I hope I'm wrong because I don't want San Diego to be in the playoffs.
How many wild cards does he? Is it 3?
Yeah.
It's 3. Baltimore,
3 division
Toronto,
winners,
and Houston.
3 wild cards.
Right now, Baltimore, Toronto, and Houston. But, Lenny, there's hope. Red Sox are next in line with the Yankees. Just 2 games out of a wild card spot right now for those teams. Seattle still got a chance. They're 5 out, and Cleveland 5.5. The Angels 6, and then it drops. In the National League, your 3 wild cards today would be Miami, Arizona, and did those 2 come into the league in the same year? Same expansion?
I think it was Colorado and Arizona came in together. Miami.
Is Miami one that just moved?
No, wait, Tampa was one around that same time too.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I can't remember
which ones came in together now. But Miami would be a wild card, Arizona would be a wild card, and the other, basically, the Giants would right now by half a game, but Milwaukee, Cincinnati, and Philly are all bunched in there, just a game and a half out at the most there. That's Philly for a wild card berth. But, what helps some of these teams fighting for wild cards? Some of the best teams are in their division, and you don't play them 19 times this year like in the past. Mm-hmm. Yankees, Red Sox used to seem like it was on every other week. It's not like that now. How many times they play each other now, Brett? Just 12?
I'm not sure.
Seems like you just play in your division 12 times like everybody else. And, if you're an American League team, you play everybody 12, including your division. It's something like that. They tried to balance it out where, that's really good for the American League East because it's so good from top to bottom that they don't have to lose to each other. Somebody beat up on each other the entire year. Lenny says the guy can hit because he won the American League title with Twins last year. Yeah. And he's talking about Arias again. winning the batting
Well,
title.
he might win back-to-back in opposite leagues.
Yeah. Has that ever been done?
I don't know.
Okay, take away the back-to-back. Now, you listeners, a lot of baseball knowledge out there. Help me out here. Has anybody, one player, won the batting title in each league? In the American and National. I can't think of anybody right off the bat.
And he's hitting 380, and next in line is 329. So he's a pretty clear favorite right now.
Yes, he is.
To win
He'd have to go into a major slump.
Yeah.
I would like to know that. Has anybody won those? Jason's got us straightened out here. In '93, it was Miami and Colorado that came into MLB. Tampa and Arizona in '98, just 5 years later. Tampa and Arizona.
Oh, here I got one. There's
somebody has done it.
One in the modern era.
What year? What years?
Looks like he accomplished it in 2020.
Oh my!
So he did it in 16 and in 20.
Won a batting title in both. Mike, who is it? Mike, come on, Mike, throw it out there.
Ooh.
I don't want you to say the teams yet, but it may come down to that for us trying to remember. Wow. As recent as 2020.
Now he did it in the shortened season.
Yeah. Well, somebody won it though.
Yeah.
It's still a batting title.
Yeah. I don't count it against
I don't either. We still issue World Series champions and basketball and football champions, even though it was shortened season. You can tell us this: which one did he do first, National League? Or
National first.
He won the National League batting title in 2016, and the American League title
in 2020, and he's still with that team.
Yeah. Oh man. So he's currently playing too, Mike. We should be able to get that. Come on, you baseball fanatics. Don't look it up. That just cheats the system. Don't look it up. Take a shot at guessing whoever you think it might be. Since he changed teams, I'll ask you this way, and Leany's got an answer. No, he don't have an answer. I thought he had an answer. 14 times in your division.
That's how many times they play each other? 14.
Okay, so I'd guess, 12? 14 times playing the division. You have to play, maybe a couple more than the others. And you still also got that interleague play that accounts for how many games a year do they play in interleague play? Maybe 12 total in that as well? I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know.
I know one thing. I would not want to be the guy that sets down. You know how we do some scheduling, Brett? I wouldn't want to be the guy that sets down and tackles the Major League Baseball schedule. What if you get it all done? It takes you 6 weeks to do it, and you left a team out. That'd be my luck. Got to start over. Yeah. Oh, we didn't give that team out 162 games. We forgot to give them any home games. That would be a scheduling. My guess is there's a system of some
I would hope
sort
so.
in order that they, basically you just leave the schedule alone, and you change the teams, around, and so they don't play the same order every single year. Didn't we determine that interleague play does everybody play everybody in the National League play everybody in the American League or not?
I'm not sure.
In one season. I don't know if you could or not. I don't know if you could or not because
I don't know.
You could. I don't think you could.
15 in each, so that's 14 times at least 2 games because you ain't going to play one. So that's 28 games you would have scheduled if you just played 2 games, and most of the series are 3 games. So I don't know either. And I'm guessing if you only play somebody 3 times, then next year you return the favor. If you play at home, you go to their place the following year, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I cannot believe we're getting blanks here for the only player, and it is the only one you came with, Brett, right?
The only modern era
player to ever win the batting title. And this had to be publicized when it happened,
I would guess so.
Yeah. How popular of a guy is he? I thought you were going to say that. That's what worries me.
Yeah, much more popular now than he was in 2016.
Oh, really? So that tells me he's with a big market team
Yes.
now, and he was with a lower market team
Right.
prior.
Freddie Freeman.
Nah, he's all National League.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. Oh man, that's one we're gonna have to think about. That's for sure. Because I really feel like it's somebody. Mike and I know the name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I really feel like it's something we should come up with, and I thought my guys out there.
Yeah, your guys.
My
sure.
baseball. Yeah, I thought.
Come on.
You know what they're pecking away.
I just
right
looked
now
at the
on is
Dodgers'
G's.
schedule. They do play all 15 American League teams
Do they?
this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
you
thought
play
they-
you play everybody.
Yeah, yeah. And I would wonder. Everybody's going to play the same amount of games because they're not going to do it any other way. They're going to play the same amount of games against the other league. I just wonder what that number is. You know how many it is that they might play. You know, just like your Dodgers there. How many times? You said they play all 15, but you'd have to go through the entire schedule, and we're not going to do that just to see.
Yeah, most
How
of them
many
look
it
like
is.
just 1 3-game series.
Mhm.
But I think I saw that they played the Angels 4 times, 2 home and 2 away. So what was it, 46?
Might be. A name that came to my mind, but this don't fit this just don't fit. It's Corey Seager for that.
He was still with the Dodgers in 2020.
Right. Yeah, he couldn't. Well, yeah, he was still there last year, wasn't he?
No, not last
Is it,
year.
okay,
This
this is
is-
his second year with
I think
second
it's
year
his
with
second.
Texas. Yeah.
It's either second or third.
Yeah. What position did this guy play on the baseball field? I don't think that's going to help me. Obviously, it's not if you have to think about
I think he might move around.
it. Really?
Infield.
Definitely on the infield.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I think he might have played some shortstop, some third, and maybe some first.
Wow. Wow. Yep. At one time was
He's 35 years old.
Kyle Schwarber in the running for a batting title, or did I just dream that? Was he not a hitter for average?
He might
at
have
one
a
time?
couple times.
And he's played
I
in
don't-
both leagues.
I don't think
but
he is.
I know that's not who we're looking for,
No.
obviously. But yeah, because he's not played any infield.
And didn't he just play part of a season in Boston? Did he play a full year there? Or
I don't know. I can't remember. Lenny could probably answer that, but I could not. I can't recall. I don't recall. That's,
mostly Washington and Philly.
yeah. Yeah. Well, let's think on that batting champion in both leagues as we take our final time out. Appreciate you tuning in. Back with the fourth quarter in a moment.
Triad Corrugated Metal in Lincoln is this area's headquarters for premium metal roofing and supplies. And now just arrived, square tubing for metal carports and metal buildings. Give them a call at 980-429-2278 for pricing and sizes. And they have a wide variety of colors. Visit the website at triadcorrugatedmetal.com. And like them on Facebook too, Triad Corrugated Metal, 108 Industrial Park Road in Lincoln. Bag it up during the big bag sale. Going on now at Bean Brothers Hardware and Supply in Lincoln. Get 3 bags of pelletized or pulverized lime for just $17.99. Hey, you'll rock and roll with 3 bags of rock for $25. Select from pea gravel, pond pebbles, white and mini marble chips, egg rock, river pebbles, mountain blend, sunshade blend, and red lava. 3 bags for $25. All during the big bag sale at Bean Brothers Hardware and Supply, 969 Reachville Road in Lincoln. Online at beanbrothershardware.com. Like them on Facebook too.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Bo Schrontz, I have a toothache. Where should I go?
Well, Tim, I'd go to John Cloninger Dentistry in Lincolnton. He takes care of all my dental needs. Cleanings and deep cleanings, crowns, bridges, fillings, dentures. He can even help you with your sleep apnea.
And guess what, Bo? He has a partner, Dr. Aaron Hevner.
That's right, Tim. Stop in at Dr. John Cloninger's Dentistry today to let Dr. Erwin Hevner and John brighten your smile.
John Cloninger Dentistry, 904 Doncha Drive, Lincolnton. Hours Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or call 704-735-0765.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Darrell Hatchett Family Dentistry is not just a name, it's the way you're treated the minute you walk in. A full-service dental practice with over 20 years' experience and lifelong resident of Catawba and Lincoln County. His commitment and caring run deep in the community. Located at the intersection of Highway 150 and Business 16 in Denver, he's convenient to where you are. Open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5, so look no further for your dentist than Darrell Hatchett Family Dentistry. Call 704-489-9919 for your appointment or more information. Darrell Hatchett Family Dentistry.
Stop by Lowe's Home Improvement in Lincolnton for their great deals on items for summer. Looking for cordless tools? Check out the great deals on Craftsman and DeWalt, including buy one, get one free on select DeWalt Craftsman products. Don't forget the outdoor activities too, with great deals on the new Blackstone flat top grills and a great selection of patio furniture. Freshen up the flower beds with a large selection of bag mulch with a 12-month color guarantee. Shop Lowe's in Lincolnton for the things you want to buy today.
Triad Corrugated Metal in Lincoln is this area's headquarters for premium metal roofing and supplies. And now just arrived square tubing for metal carports and metal buildings. Give them a call at 980-429-2278 for pricing and sizes. And they have a wide variety of colors. Visit the website at triadcorrugatedmetal.com. And like them on Facebook too, Triad Corrugated Metal, 108 Industrial Park Road in Lincoln.
And welcome back to Sports Talk. We enter the fourth quarter. Let me just go ahead and tell you, I got the answer right in a backhanded way because I looked at Brett and I said, well, it couldn't be. And he said, why not?
Yep.
And then we learned that's who it was. We won't give the name, but we will tell you he first did it in the National League with the Rockies. This is the only player in the modern era to win a batting title in the National League and the American League. And I am disappointed in some of our folks. That is for sure. Wow. Because of the loyalty to the team that he did it with the second time. We'll put it that way. It's, I don't know. I'll be honest. He didn't come to my mind because I never remembered him in the National League. And that's what happens when you're on a Rockies team that's winning 50 games a year, or something. They're winning a little more than that right now. But I'm getting a couple messages here that I want to answer.
He actually played he made his major league debut with the Cubs, which I had no idea.
Right.
I only remembered him with the Rockies. In 2011, he played 27 games with the Cubs.
Yeah. So, I don't know any other hints we could actually
he played 7 years with the Rockies.
Yep. 7 years. Yep.
And this is his 5th year with his new team.
5th year with the new team, and he's had some injury problems. That helps a little bit too. He's missed some time due to injuries and stuff like that. But and he'll play a key role. We'll give this hint too. If the team he's currently on does make a playoff run, they're not in it right now, but they're not far out. And if they make a playoff run, he'll have to play a key role in it, I would think, because he's most likely the top average guy on that team when healthy.
They need him to be.
Yeah.
He's not this year.
Right. Yep. That ought to gave it away. Some of our people should have got that one, especially the Rodney Willises and the Monty Moss Tellers, and that's a good hint right there, isn't it? I thought they'd be cranking that one out at us.
He was the National League MVP. No, never mind. He wasn't.
I was just looking here at the standings one more time, trying to decide, if there's a team. You mentioned that the Yankees could make a run because, number one, they're just 2 games back. And who else did you mention?
San Diego.
San Diego, yeah, just because I know they're a little farther out, but you're right, because
they're just loaded with talent.
A lot of talent. Should be able to wheel off, a big 8 to 10 game win
and now,
streak.
I think they have their full roster. I'm sure they don't have everybody healthy, but the bulk of their stars, Tatis, Soto, Machado, Bogarts, all those guys are healthy. Yu Darvish, Blake Snell.
They're not in the running to win the division, would you think, at this point?
Well, it'll be hard. I mean, you got 3 teams to try to pass.
Well, the reason I asked that is because they also have 3 teams to try and pass to get into the wild card. The thing is, they're not near as far back. 6 games out of the playoff spot, as I think the way they put it on here, isn't it? 6 games out of the playoff spot itself, not out of the top wild card, but out of the playoff berth is where they stand.
But I've heard talks of, if they don't get hot soon,
fire sale,
possibly trading maybe Juan Soto be on the trade market.
Already?
Yeah.
Is this his first year there?
I think it's his second. It's definitely not his first.
There you go, Lenny.
Second.
DJ LeMahieu. Lenny with the correct answer this morning on the trivia question. And he's won a batting title in both American and National League and American League. National League came first with the Rockies in what year? 2016. And then just a couple years ago, the batting title.
2020.
The batting title with the Yankees in the American League. And that's kind of I don't know. I guess it's not really surprising, because if you're a batting title guy, you're not likely to get traded. What happens is you leave in free agency for the paycheck. And that might be why, let's face it, the Rockies don't get a lot of attention around here as far as Major League Baseball goes. So that's probably why I don't remember him doing that in the American League. But you would have thought, and most likely whenever he did it in the National League, it was probably headlines. I mean, in the American League, when he did it in the American League to do it in both leagues, it probably had to be in the headlines big time. There for a while, I just don't recall it. Don't recall that happening for whatever reason.
Yeah, it says he left and signed with the Yankees as a free agent between the 18 and 19 seasons.
Right. Well, Mike, I'm going to hit you better wake up a little bit over there, Mike Powell.
Okay.
Hit your wheelhouse right here.
My
Pat
wheelhouse?
Fitzgerald. Pat Fitzgerald let go this
Fitzgerald.
week, early in the week, let go by Northwestern because of a hazing scandal.
Yeah.
That
Brought
was-
down by the student newspaper.
How about that? That's a
Yeah.
that's
probably the most powerful athletic figure at Northwestern. Student newspaper reporting they had 2 ex-players, or were they ex-players? I'm not sure, but that's where the majority of the accusations came, and claims of hazing, even in situations that were somewhat sexual in nature, it seems. So, yeah, student newspaper brings down a powerful coach.
and then in a very closely related incident, but much less publicized, the baseball coach was let go either on Thursday or Friday of this week for similar reasons.
So just an incredible shakeup and scandal at a university with a sterling academic reputation.
So Chris Collins is biting his nails right now. Hopefully he's
Hopefully
clean
he's
of those
clean.
Yeah.
I hope.
Well, do you not think, though, and Mike and I talked about this last night a little bit. I think it was last night. It might have been on the road a couple nights ago. But does every team not do some form?
Yeah. Yeah, that's been the talk this week on the
I would
shows.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
It's like a cruel and unusual punishment type
Yeah, it would have
deal.
to be something like that.
Yeah.
Bodily harm.
Yeah, they can't
sexual
have that.
in nature.
Can't
would
do that.
be- Yeah, that's taboo.
But I wonder, and then what does it wind up being? You hid somebody's glove, or something, or
Well, throughout history in athletics, we know that the seniors have always messed with the freshmen in some way. I mean, that's just been traditional.
Will one day somebody be sued? Let's say LSU goes out there and they win the like they did a couple weeks ago. They won the national title, and the guy hit a walk-off home run. Guy runs up and douses him with the Gatorade bucket. Will somebody be sued one day for doing that? Will it get that? That's a form of hazing.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I mean, remember the freak accidents happen. Remember the Cleveland Browns player years ago? The official threw a penalty flag on it, and it hit the guy in the eye, and he lost vision in that eye. I don't know if he ever regained it or not, but there was lawsuits about that because, the flag. And I don't blame the guy. I would have probably done the same thing, a lawsuit filed because the penalty flag, the beanbag part of it, where it gets its weight, hit him in the eye and caused him to lose his eyesight in that one eye. I don't know if there's been other things that surely there have in sports, period. There's been other things that's been that strange that, did it end that football player's career? I'm thinking it did. It might have ended his football playing career. But I can't confirm that. Was his name Brown?
Orlando Brown.
Orlando Brown.
Jeff Triplett was the one who tossed the flag.
A well-known NFL referee.
Yeah, Orlando Brown, OU.
Yep.
Says he was. This article says he was sidelined by that accident. He shoved Triplett after the fact. Then the league suspended him indefinitely, then lifted the suspension. He was temporarily blinded. The Browns released him. Looks like in the off season. Brown sued the league for $200 million. He settled for a sum between $15 and $25 million. But I'm trying to get to he retired not long after that. Came back out of retirement and played a little bit more. But it says he died at 40 years old in 2011.
Wow, didn't realize that. So at what point do you? I mean, Now, that had nothing to do with hazing. That's just a freak accident that happened during the game. But I'm just saying, with this stuff you do, I mean, there's a chance somebody could be injured, you know, even with the Gatorade bucket, you know. I mean,
true.
Sometimes I've seen them put the Gatorade bucket on the head. Well, that's capable of breaking your nose right there if it comes down and hits at the right spot. But, you know, where do you draw the line? How do you stop it? How do you police it? Whatever it may be. Each coach is responsible. Each athletic director is responsible for each coach knowing what is right, what is wrong, and, you know, what guidelines they go by. But those coaches, you know, they have to police it themselves. And, you know, if you got 120 football players on your roster, yeah, you got maybe 15, 20 coaches too, but, you know, you don't know what they're doing at all times of the day.
Now, you mentioned Northwestern's baseball coach. Now, I don't think it was so much hazing. The thing with him was that he was they found in their investigation he engaged in bullying and abusive behavior. Now, I don't know what we're talking. And he also had inappropriate comments about a female staff member.
But isn't this kind of ironic that it happened just days after?
Days after, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, has that been an ongoing investigation
we
didn't know about?
They started investigating this coach, Jim Foster, last year in baseball. The program's in shambles. They had some coaches leave. Team was 10-40. 16 players entered the transfer portal after the season. So Northwestern's athletic program, hopefully, except for basketball, has just really been hit by some situations in the last week.
Now,
I wonder what Mike Wilbon will have to say about that, since he's a proud Northwestern grad.
And Mike Greenberg.
Mike Greenberg as well. Yeah, because they got a great journalism school.
We talked about this one other week. Must have pretty good acting
that
school
too.
as well, because they a lot of famous actors went there. But
we're now on strike.
Yeah, and I know you're not going to like my comment, Mike. The actors and the writers.
And the writers.
Who cares?
Okay.
I mean, that, you know what? You do what you want to do. If you don't feel like you're making enough money or whatever
strike.
Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead. There's a lot of people would love to be in the position that those people are in. That's the way I always looked at the baseball and the football and strikes in sports. Go ahead, but I'm not on your side. You know, I'm not. I find it hard to be on your side when you're making more money than 99% of the average American. You know.
Well,
and I know you're
the A-list actors make
I
that kind of money.
Yeah, but here again, Mike, you chose the profession knowing what the pay was.
That's right.
You know, so I mean that's you know. I know I don't know all the details, and but it'd take a lot for me to change my mind, just because you know going in.
Well, we can generally say that writers are probably underpaid in a lot of different kind of professions that deal with writing. So, and without them, I mean, I haven't seen a late night talk show live in 3 months, right? Because you got to have the writers to make the jokes, right? I
was ruined with Letterman.
Yeah.
So I just don't watch them anyway. I don't think. I'm going to guess that Jimmy Fallon, out of the three big ones, is probably the funniest.
He is. Yeah, he's not obsessed by politics.
Yeah.
It's not all political.
Yeah, some of them if they can't use that, they wouldn't have a joke.
Yeah, but that, I mean, it's been Trump for the last 6-8 years mainly.
So if you got to have more material and things, and Jimmy
Kimmel.
Yeah, Kimball.
Or are you talking about Jimmy Fallon?
Fallon.
No, I'm sorry. I meant Kimball.
You meant Kimball.
Yeah, I meant Kimball. Yeah, I like him the best.
Okay.
I always did like Fallon, but I still as a host, I think Kimball's jokes are better.
Could be.
You know, and he'll hammer some people, and maybe when it's taking the wrong move, but you got to do that. You know, in that line of work, if you want to be successful. But most time I'm not up that late now watching the late night talk shows anyway. But I did love Letterman Brett even went to see Letterman
Oh.
on the set one time and check out the show. Like George Costanza says, why you got to be there so early? Or not George Costanza, but Jerry's dad. What was it he said? He said, it don't air till 11:30. And
Yeah.
Jerry had to explain that's recorded.
Recorded. Same day maybe, but earlier.
Yeah, a lot earlier, like 5 o'clock, Brett. Is that when you went?
It was around then.
Yeah. And who was the guest? Riley?
That was one of them. John C.
Riley.
Yeah.
He was the main one.
Right. Yeah. I was trying to remember that. Yeah, I don't know. My question to Mike was going to be about all this scandal and this kind of thing, and Brett, I'll ask you too. Will Pat Fitzgerald be a head coach again?
Oh.
Yeah.
What was the guy's name? It was at Rutgers. Went through this similar situation.
That's Schiano.
Yeah, Greg Schiano.
Schiano.
Became a head coach again.
He did.
Yeah.
It could happen for Fitzgerald in time. I don't think it's going to happen like next year.
Fitzgerald is, to me, a hotter coach right now. I mean, he's had at Northwestern. Did he finish with a winning record, above 500? And it seemed like, yeah.
He took him to heights
Over 500. 5-5 in bowl games.
Yeah.
And how old is Fitzgerald?
He's only 48.
48.
Somebody's going to take the chance on that guy.
Eventually.
I don't know if it'll be NFL. I would think it's going to be a college, though.
Yeah, I would too.
I would think it's going to be a college. All you got to do is say, hey, you know what your past is. You know what you allowed. You can't allow that to happen here, but we'll welcome you as our coach if you promise me. And, I know you're going to be released if we hear of hazing issues.
And how many Big Ten titles did he win, Brett? I know he won one. He went to the Rose Bowl a couple times.
He won. Well, I think it said he was in 2 Big Ten title games.
Big Ten title games. Never won it, though.
Where he won his the Western Division.
He won his division, yeah.
He's proven he can do more with less.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that's why I think he'll coach.
I think he will too.
Northwestern can't compete.
I think he will too. I think it'll be as early as not this season, but the next. He'll be somewhere.
So in other words, nobody's going to pick him up at this late date, obviously.
Right.
But 2024, you think he'll be back?
He's 110 and
he'll
101.
Be a head coach too.
9 games over 500
at Northwestern.
All at Northwestern.
Yeah,
been there since 2006.
That's impressive.
Winning, that's like
2 Big Ten West Division titles.
Okay, let's look at this scenario. The head coach of the Chicago Bears. If it don't work out for them this year and they make a noticeable difference, Fitzgerald's right there at your back door.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about that. Would you give somebody like that an opportunity? What's the coach? I can't even think of the coach's name with the Bears right now. It's kind of a strange name, and it's not Ditka.
The Bears.
Yeah.
Not Ditka.
Matt Eberflus.
Eberflus, yep, kind of a strange name.
Yeah.
Eberflus.
Doesn't exactly roll off.
They think that he's going to be the guy. And they think that this is the year that they get the offense going to match, the defense, which the defense hasn't been the typical Chicago Bears defense in the last few years. But, but if he don't, and I don't know what the Bears are looking for, but I'm guessing they're not looking for 7-6 and missing the playoffs.
You're right.
They're looking for something better than that.
Well, they were 3-14.
Yeah.
Last year.
That's really bad.
Yeah,
I think 7-6 would be a huge.
The most underachieving, I still think in my mind, the most underachieving sports franchise in the United States.
The Bears.
Is the Chicago Bears. They have everything you would want in a franchise, but wins.
Mm-hmm.
Great fan base, great city to play in, great players, great history.
They won 8
it's all there.
NFL championships before the Super Bowl era.
Yeah.
8.
Only 1 Super Bowl.
1 Super Bowl.
Well, we could also argue that
they made it again, but the Colts defeat them. Manning, that's his.
We say that you could almost say that outside of the '85 season, they've done nothing in the modern era.
Honestly, they should have won more with that team.
Yeah,
that team was dominant for a few years. I mean, all you had to do was go out there and score 17 points. You were going to win. That defense, a lot of times, was going to get you shutouts, and all you had to do is win it with a field goal. But it is, to me, it's just the most underachieving sports franchise. Who else would you categorize in there?
Well, almost. Wouldn't you put Dallas as an underachieving franchise?
over the last 25
no
years.
Super Bowl.
Yes,
But,
over the last
they have
30
five
years, but they do have
Is it
five.
five total?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the same way with the Bears. The Bears were
Yeah, but we
great in the old
right. But the
NFL.
thing in our lifetime, Mike, we remember the Cowboys titles.
Yeah,
We don't remember the Bears titles.
'Cause that
I
was-
don't,
no.
except for the Super Bowl.
That was when it was, in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Before the modern era.
And the fact that the
in the
Bears
Super
are
Bowl.
an original franchise along with the Packers. And look how the Packers have just outdone them
Oh, yeah.
in a much smaller market. I don't know that the market's got anything to do with it. It really don't. It's who runs their organization the best is what it's got to do with. But they,
Well, yeah, all of the really old franchises have a lot more.
who can you think of in another sport that has underachieved as much as the Bears they're on the marquee. They're in Chicago. It's
That
the
have been
third
around
largest
forever.
city.
The Cubs. Put the Cubs in that
How
category.
sad. Yeah.
Also one title.
How about the
and-
Chargers in football?
Chargers.
They've
there.
underachieved.
Yeah, but they don't. Yeah.
Historically.
They have. They don't have the history though that the Bears. But I would give
No,
you. I would give you
they
that
don't.
the Chargers belong on the list. They definitely.
Well, what
belong
about
on
the
list.
Browns? They were great before the Super Bowl era, but have done
the
nothing,
old NFL.
nothing
Yeah.
since.
Well, they were great during the Jim Brown era.
That's right.
And
Yeah, I guess that's pretty much
Yep.
Yeah.
what it was.
But it's just hard for me to find one that would top the Bears. And we
Yeah.
got a Buckus jersey hanging on the wall right there behind
You agree?
Mike and Brett. We appreciate you tuning in this morning. We will not have coverage of American League baseball tonight or tomorrow night. If it goes 5 games, we won't have those two. If it would happen to go 6, we'll pick it back up on Monday night.
Any
We'll be back at
expectations
Cherville.
of a 6 game?
Any expectations of
No.
none at all.
I hadn't seen
I
a single
don't have
pitch.
it.
But
Real quick before we go, Lenny says Juan Soto was traded to Padres last summer at the deadline. He has not signed an extension, so there is talk he could be moved. He has value and a year left on his
Yankees,
left on
left-handed
his
power
contract
hitter.
before free agency.
he's going to the Yankees.
He may do it. For Brett, Mike, I'm David. See you next week on Sports Talk.